sexual fantasy. There's something for everyone in that game, and that's a rare thing. But yeah, that's my intro out of the way. We've got a lot of fun, lots of fun planned. And I'll be quiet in a minute. Steve will do his intro, and Beth should be joining us hopefully soon. I don't know if my webcam's working. It is. Hey, hey. Oh, I've got to edit it. There's a little bit of Steve showing on my end there. There we go. Just edit out a little bit, Steve. Right. So to make sure that's all tickety boo. Yeah, chat's working. Da-da-da. Excellent. So just quickly, if you're wondering what this blue thing is around my neck, it's a neck support. I've injured my neck. Well, I didn't injure it. My son did. He jumped on me about 20 minutes ago before I was supposed to go live. Taking a wee bit of morphine, so I might start going hallucinating. No, I won't. I'll be fine. But if I slur my words or start nodding off it, it's not because I'm bored. It's because I'm literally gonna fall asleep because of the morphine. It won't happen though. So I've had 2 weeks. So I've 1 week I got cut out by the internet, and the other week is because I was ill and injured at the same time. So this week, touch wood, nothing happens. It goes fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bits and Pieces podcast, episode 19. And as always, I'm joined by my two co-hosts. Well, hopefully Beth will be here, but she's not in the call just yet. But hopefully she'll join us shortly. But a warm welcome return to the 3D show, who unfortunately had to drop out last week. And
Yeah.
we had one episode where right towards the end, very little. I had to say goodbye on my own because unfortunately Beth wasn't there as well. But you had dropped out, didn't you? But
Yeah,
hopefully
my internet had died, didn't it?
your internet went, no, I've given
Nah,
up.
yeah,
But yeah, as always, if you are new to the podcast and you're coming in for the first time, we like to do what we call a spotlight, where we pick a game. And it could be a game for the past, it could be a game that's just recently out, and we just pick a game because we have enjoyed it, or have we got something we really want to say about it. Kind of
yeah,
be a bit of a passionate rant, or it might just be go and buy kind of thing.
yeah,
We're not really reviewers, but we do give our own personal opinion on what we think of the games. And
yeah,
then later on, we normally jump onto a bit of news and looking at some future up and coming games. I think there's some.
yeah,
We're going to be looking at the state of play as well. That
yeah.
was up recently for the PlayStation.
Yeah, it's March. It's a
Some
couple of days ago,
couple
but
of days
it's
ago.
yeah.
It's a couple of days for us, but it's like still kind of relevant. Some words. I always get confused. My brain just
Yeah.
has a little spur of madness, but it can't speak.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that then.
But yeah, we're going to be doing that, and if, as I say, yeah, hopefully Beth will join us. If she does, then she normally jumps in with a joke of the week, and yeah. So whilst we are waiting for Beth, we've got some, like I said, we've got some spotlights. We might as well get things kicking off. Then, do you have anything to spotlight? Because
Yeah, I do. I will go over it because I know we mentioned it a little while ago. Steve did actually mention this game a few podcasts ago, and he introduced me to this wonderful little clicker game called Max Gentleman's Sexy Business. Now, before you roll your eyes and go, "Oh my god, what the hell is this rubbish?" I'm not going to play a trailer because it might have naughty bits in it. So it's an adult clicker game where it's like a visual novel, and there's like 12. I think there's 12 people to like well, fondle, if you like, because your geezer is pretty much a lad of loves everything, and I mean everything. So your character literally will bang anything with a hole, pretty much. So you're a rich dude. You're in this estate. You've had lots of glorious adventures, banged everyone left, right, and center across the planet. You come back from the notorious adventures, only to have your kingdom swept out from under your rug from your your rival, which is quite funny because you create your rival and the character creator. And I just made a naked bimbo. It was just always funny every time she was on the screen and nothing on. So it's just the game is hilarious. It's probably one of the funniest games I've played in a long time, and it is rude. Yeah, you can turn that off or tone it down depending on your preference to nudity. And you do see the full shebang. It isn't just tits and asses. It's the whole. It's a whole the slap and tickle, the whole lot. So it's very, it can be very rude, especially some of the comics you unlock, which took me by surprise when I clicked on them. So yeah, it's very rude, but it's also very funny. It's a clicker game, so it's also a management game. So you've got to manage your money. You've got to take over businesses. You've got to like increase your staff skill level, so you train them up in the various buildings available to you, which you unlock as you progress through the story modes. And the game has multiple layers. You think how clicker games are, there's not going to be a lot to do, but there's like in between the clicking and managing and time managing of your staff. You have like little dates that you take these characters on, and you got these little mini games that are really fun and annoying. I hate the fencing one where you got to remember the names of all the things, even though he tells you what to do. I still completely mess it up, and I very rarely get that successful. The dog racing. The dog racing is so infuriating. I always pick the one that the dog that goes to the finish line turns around and goes back the other way every time. It's like the tea tasting as well. There's so many fun things in the game. I don't want to spoil it too much. It's literally like a fiver on Steam, and it's hilarious. It's also been updated over a year. They just had a Valentine's Day update where they added a couple of new characters, a new storyline for all of them, and loads of new items and that to collect. You can also unlock outfits for every single romanceable character in the game, and there's also hidden relationships with the. If you pair certain two characters together for long enough, you'll get a special bonus ending or scene with them two relevant characters as well, which I still haven't done yet. I'm still working my way through the game. I think I've put so many. Because it's a clicker, you can just leave it running and then go about doing whatever. So I've had it like idling in the background, like just giving me tons and tons of money and literally storming the game. But it's so fun, and I would highly recommend anyone that likes an adult themed. It's not. There's no like sexual intercourse in it or anything like that. It's purely just like it's like page three. It's that sort of that in your face sort of stuff. But there's no, like I said, it is full frontal for men and women. But you can turn that off, and you can say, like I said earlier, you can turn it down. But it's funny. It is funny, and you can also download the uncensored patch if you feel the need to. Or you don't need to. I turned it off because it was too much. But it's a really fun game. Don't let it derail you from the experience. It's a really really good game, and I've the fact that the some of the choices you made. There's so much to talk about. I could spend an hours talking about this game. The main character is such a div. He's such, some of the stuff you can say to the romanceable characters. Um, and out of all the characters, that if you get to like the fifth date, that's basically when you seal the deal and it's a load of funny text, and it's always some stupid scenario, and it's always over expressed, and it's so funny to read, and it's just a whole package of humor. It's like adult humor at its best, and it kind of reminds me of the Carry On films, but it's like a Carry On game. And there's and like in the without giving too much of the story away, a bit later on when you unpacked a bit more of the game, you can send your minions away to travel, and then you bring back like power ups and items and equipment that make the game a bit easier for yourself in certain situations, especially when you have to unlock the temple to fight demons. Yes, you fight demons in this game. I haven't unlocked the true ending yet. There's two endings. There's a true ending and there's a true ending. I'm not sure how I haven't completed the game yet, and I'm 26 hours in. So there's quite a lot of game there for your money. And it's whoever I can't remember who developed. Let me look up who developed this game because they're worth
I
shouting
can
out.
tell you, yeah, the men who wear many hats.
Many hats. The man who yes. I think is it their first game? I'm not sure if they've done many others.
No, I'm not sure if that is their first game. To be, I'll just if you want to carry on talking, and I'll just check for you.
So the men who wear many hats. These guys are absolutely comedy geniuses. And my favourite character, my favourite male character, is Max Gentleman. Max Gentleman is an absolute nutter. He's just like he just fights everything. Just just strips down to nothing for no reason, and just manhandles bears just for fun. I mean, it's so funny. And you've got the little detective Pip, who's she's weird. she's weird. She is very weird. I've forgotten all their names now. I was stupid. I've been playing it for so long. But all the characters you meet are all different, all colourful characters, and I'd be spoiling it if I told you everything about the game anyway. Just go and buy it, go and play it. You'll have a good time, and you might find out you're being like myself. If you love clicker games, you'll be playing it for a long time. I want to get all of the unlockables and all of the achievements. I've already unlocked 80% of the achievements already. And in a couple of days, I've been playing it that much. It's just so good.
Yeah, just to clarify then, yeah, there is. I think they did actually do two other games.
Okay, I'll check them out.
Yeah, there was a Oregon Trail Director's Cut, and there is another Max Gentleman game as well, which is a free to play indie casual funny multiplayer. Looks like it's got FMV thing added to it, but it's pretty much a clicky thing. Their producer of the game, there's one of the producers and writers of the game is either well known or not very well known Twitch streamer who goes by the name of Jesse Cox. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of him, but Jesse Cox is actually plays he does one of the voices also in Max Gentleman. Like I said, I don't know if he's very well known or if people might recognize the name, but as a producer and writer of another one of his games, they released some DLC into this, which was Monster Prom. So if anyone's ever heard of that, again, it's another clicky point.
Yeah.
So Monster Prom was also one of Jesse Cox's little games that he helped.
Oh, right. I'm gonna have to play that then.
During Valentine's or Christmas time, they introduced some characters from that game and they put it in as a free DLC. So that's why the two can combine, because I don't think the game list of the same developers, I don't think that game is listed. So no, I'm just looking down at list now and I'll say no, it isn't. But yeah. So the humours there are from those two games. That's why the humours there. I'm glad you picked up on this, and I feel like it's kind of my fault that you're playing it. But I'm glad that you've got on well with it. I'm going to echo a lot of what I've already said, because I did cover this previously on one of the previous podcasts, one of our earlier podcasts. I absolutely love the game, and I'm just, every time you're saying something, I'm going, yeah, I know what you mean, and I can kind of get it. I get it, because obviously I've played it and I've got all of the DLC when it came out. It was such a fun game to play. So, and I can't really say too much about it. You've covered it quite extensively anyway, and like I said, I've already spoken about it previously, but it's yeah, it is a fun game, and it's a nice, like you said, it's a nice clicky pointy game where you just let things happen.
It's a bit of
And
teasing fun.
yeah, and I was with you on the whole, like those little those little side games that they had, where the dog racing is just infuriating. The fencing. I'm like, I'm nodding because I'm like, yeah, I know, I keep losing as well. um, but yeah, it is very tongue in cheek, and it's very
Yeah,
it's not so naughty. You go, no, it's a bit TNA here and there.
yeah.
Like, yes, there is full frontal nudity, but it's so cartoony, it's laughable.
It's also optional as well. You have to
Is it
click
don't you
into
don't
it.
have to, yeah, you do
Yeah,
have to
you can
select
click.
that
This default section is you have to click on it to look at it.
to look at
But
it.
the artwork is phenomenal
The
though.
artwork is
It is
fantastic.
absolutely
The
phenomenal.
writing is again,
Yeah.
it's just so fun, and that's why I come back to the other game I was mentioning. Um, but yeah, it's fun. I'm glad you picked it up, and I'm glad that you're actually. I think you've probably surpassed me on it. Um,
Well,
just because
that's all I'm playing. Leave it running.
I've been having other games and other things. The spotlight I'm about to talk about actually has taken over me a little bit as well, so I can kind of get where you're going from when you pick up a game and it becomes an obsession
Yeah.
to the point where you just want to carry on playing
Golden Ring.
it. Yeah, we kind of covered that last week,
Yeah,
sort of.
I know. Sort of. We
But
did.
we missed. Yeah, unfortunately, you wasn't able to join us, and I would have loved to have gotten your take on that as well, because I know you have played it, whereas
Still playing
still
it.
playing it.
Yeah.
But
Still going. A never-ending game at this point. But anyway, sorry, Steve.
no,
Max Gentleman, go and buy it. Support it.
it's
Buy it. Get Monster Prom as well. Practically, that's been
Mots.
given away for free.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything that Jesse Cox is associated with, get it. I want to see more games. I want to see a Max Gentleman Sexy Business too. Even though I haven't finished the first one yet, I want the second one.
There is another one out there. It is a free to play, but this game, Max Gentleman Sexy Business, is $15.49 currently on Steam. I'm not sure if
Oh,
it
was
was.
it? I thought it was cheaper than that.
Maybe you got it in a sale, because
I
there
must have
has
got it in a
been
sale because I
um
only paid like £4 for it.
yeah, it previously up till what date we on, the 12th of March, up until I think a couple of days ago, I think the 10th of March
Oh,
or
that's a
11th of
steal
March,
then.
there was a sale on Steam, and a lot of games were about 50% off or thereabouts. So yeah, so that's probably what it was.
Oh, fair
um
enough then. Oh,
yeah,
I
so
see the free to play game as well now. Max Gentleman.
yeah,
About hats. It's literally about hat stacking.
yeah,
Okay.
so it's probably not it's not the
That's
best.
not. No, it's probably not really the same. No.
No, probably not the same. I would definitely go with some. I'll definitely go with the Monster Prom though.
Yeah, I've got 1 and 2, so
Yeah, and
I've got it
a
free.
lot of DLCs come from that. It was like, oh, those are the sort of games I'd love to voice over or voice acting. Just
Yeah, right,
the
same,
writing
same.
it.
It'd be absolutely incredible to be part of something like that. It's so fun. No, it's not on Xbox. Sorry, I'm not in chat. Sorry, bad habit.
Yeah,
I'm playing
um,
it already.
yeah. No, I didn't think it was. I think it is only available. Sadly, this could easily be converted over to like a mobile game. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
It's just,
easily, yeah,
you
easily.
could easily do
iPad
that.
or something.
Yeah. So hopefully, if they ever do that, it'd be great, because then more people get a chance to experience these sort of games.
Yeah. These more comedy games need to be made. There's not enough comedy games. So despite the aesthetics and stuff, and the rude bits, you can easily see past all that and see the fantastic comedy that this game brings. I know there are comedy games out there, but this game in particular really nails it for me. Really nails the atmosphere, the stupidity of yours. It knows it's a stupid, rude game, so it plays
Yes,
on it big
exactly.
time. So
Yeah.
it plays to its strengths.
It
And
does.
it's so over the top. It's hilarious from start. Well, I haven't even finished it yet, but like I said, 26 hours in, still haven't finished it. And it's just an enjoyable romp through
Romp. It is so
through
fun.
through the game. There's not. It's been a while since a game has made me laugh as much as this one. My missus was looking at me the other day. She was like, "What are you playing?" And I was like, Dixie Business. She's like, "What? I'm playing that game." I was like, "It's just funny." And she looked at me like I was going to die.
I think again, this is something we touched upon briefly as well. In the previous podcast when we said about nudity in games and like how Steam is able to get away with so much sort of this is very like I think it's more tastefully done rather than like distastefully. It's not there to offend. It's there to just laugh at. You know, it's so ridiculous that it's like even like you said, you can turn off. It is filtered that you can turn it off. You don't have to have it. And with that turned off, the comedy just carries the game.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to have it on. It's just more. It is more funnier with it on. I found just was like because it's so ridiculous. Like you can't take. I mean, I know you shouldn't take like those type of games seriously anyway.
No.
But like, and I really don't see how they get past the censorship, but they do. But there are some really bad versions of a sexual content in a game, and this isn't one of them. This is a very good version of how sexual content can be added, and it's laughable. It's just so fun. It's so cheeky, so fun. It knows it's a game. It knows it's funny. I'm repeating what I've already said before.
Suit you, sir.
Oh, suit you, sir. It is very much a suit you. It's very
Oh, matron! It just reminds me of
Carry On, the old
Carry
British
On Monty Python sort of humour.
The old British comedy slapstick with those old British postcard humour.
Yeah.
Which you don't get anymore. Unfortunately, you don't get them anymore. In fact, you'll probably find a lot of those postcards in museums now because they're so
hard. In the bin.
And in the bin. Someone's got some somewhere, I'm sure.
Someone's got some somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah.
It's good.
Just another pun. It's a titillating experience.
It's a titillating experience.
There you go. Got the
there we go.
That joke in.
Oh no! It's good to hear that someone else has played it now, and I can. I was just nodding throughout everything you were saying. I'm like, yep, totally agree, 100% agree, and yeah, you have nailed that on the head.
The other game that the other game I hate. I know we should move on, but the other game I hate is the one where you have to guess what they want to say from the two cards.
Oh, it's like,
it makes no sense. I'm like, well, they would never say either of those. What am I supposed to pick here? And it's just like, and you pick through it, and I would never say that. I know you would never say that. It's just like, but it gives you the impression that they give that look. You know, it's not intentional, but when the thing ends and they just look at you, I just feel like, they're just looking at you and say, "You're a twat." It's just look at it. It's just so funny. But yeah, that game can get stuff. So can the dog racing.
It's the fencing.
I'll never do it. You get that item that gives you the prediction of what comes up. That's a bloody godsend. That is. Never ever pick on
without that item. If you don't get that item, it's very.
Oh, it's hell! It's hell! It is hell! It's not hell, but it's. Oh no, it is. It's this that's the only criticism. Is that tiny fencing game? I hate it. Remove that. Developers, if you're listening, remove that and put in, I don't know, another card game, poker or something. Get rid of it. Or put horse racing in, or even cat racing. How about chicken fighting? There you go. There's something a bit more random.
They literally just called it cockfighting, wouldn't they? That was the go-to, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You're not gonna. How that's an opportunity missed. I feel.
Dress up your
DLC.
Chicken.
DLC. Yeah.
Dress up your cock.
It's just up with a chicken suit.
And
in that game, it kind of a lot of jokes write themselves. They're just easily to sort of go into that. Yeah.
Right, okay. We'll move on now.
Should we
It's
move
bad
on? Let's
enough. Yeah.
move on from like
Let's move on from
before
titillation.
we're just digging ourselves into a bit
It's
of a
great.
hole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. A
Um,
banning hole.
speak
Ban.
speaking of graves. Right. So yeah, the spotlight I want to talk about. I feel like I've put enough hours in this that I can talk about it now, and it is kind of a first impressions. I haven't done much end game stuff, and I'll get to the why I haven't done that. Project Zomboid. It's an open world survival horror game. It's still currently in its early access, developed by independent developer The Indie Stone. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic, zombie-infested world where the player has to challenge to survive for as long as possible. Yeah, and it's it. This is one of those games. It's very difficult to get hold of, to get into. But when you do get into it, I felt like I come away. I played it a couple of times, and I was like, "Oh, why did I get this game? I don't like it. I don't like it. I kept dying. I kept." That's the kind of point. If you don't, you're not dying. You're not learning. I feel because you're knowing where you're going wrong as well. That's my personal experience. I'm not saying that's how everyone's going to play, but that's how I've experienced it. There are let's before we get jump straight into it, let's start off from the beginning. So you have to choose like when you first start off, you choose your character. What sort of character do you want to be? You have to choose an occupation. You Whatever occupation it is. If you want to be a burglar, you could choose to be a burglar. If you want to be unemployed, you could be unemployed. You could be a fireman, a firefighter. There's so many options to choose. A nurse. Every character has skill points given to it. So when you get the skill points, it'll say, like, for instance, if you was a nurse, your skill points will lean towards healing quicker. If you was a lumberjack, your skill points would lean towards having better axe use, obviously being able to knock back zombies to defend yourself. So that's kind of useful. Once you've selected your occupation, you then add traits. You can't start the game without having a certain amount of points. I think you can start if you just choose the occupation without traits, you can do that. That's fine. But once you add traits, it lowers them. So you get negative traits and positive traits. The positive traits will lower your points to choose before going into it. You then have to counterbalance it with negative traits. Negative traits will give you points. So what one gives and then takes away, one takes away and then gives. So you could, for example, have a trait where you could be strength. That's going to be good later on to push zombies away, but that's going to give you minus, I think it's 10 points. So then you've got to count. You can't start the game now. You've added that trait, so you've got to then look through the negative traits. Like smoking is a negative trait. Weak stomach is a negative trait. Agoraphobia is a trait. Agoraphobia, you got, yeah, just being afraid. Going outside gives you fear, because these things will affect how you play throughout the game. So you're being chased by a zombie. You're already scared of being outside. Your heart rate will go up. You've got to try and calm down. You'll get hot. You've got to try and feed yourself. There's feeding involved. You've got to drink water. You'll get hot. You'll get thirsty. You'll get bored in the game if you don't do enough. If you don't do enough things to keep your mind occupied, you're going to get bored. A way to get around boredom is to find books, read magazines, do a crossword puzzle. You can do that. You could do that with, throughout the game. It's one of those games. There's at certain points in the game, there are events that take place, and throughout the day, you need to listen to the radio or watch TV at certain times. I think there's one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening, where there's an announcement, and if you listen to that announcement, it could be a drop. I think there's going to be like some kind of drop off. I think I have not made it to a drop off because I can't get far enough. I'm just either playing it really badly or just haven't picked the right sort of traits to help me. But that's just my gameplay. But everyone's going to have a different experience anyway. Now, spoiler alert: the game does tell you this is when you die. There is currently in its state, we're at build 41, which just came out, I think. So yeah, build 41. There is events what happen. Again, there's another event called the helicopter. I don't know what that's supposed to do, but I think it's every 9 days a helicopter comes. But I've died so many times that every time I've spawned back in, it won't even have full. Like, I think days have passed that the helicopter was in. So, yeah, I've just played it either badly or it's expected that you're going to die a lot. So if that doesn't appeal to you, dying all the time, then you're probably not going to enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it at the first, but I gave it a second chance, and then I plugged in my controller and found actually playing it on a controller rather than keyboard and mouse was a lot better to do this, because there's so many buttons to do on the keyboard. Now you can implement the mouse with the controller as well, and you use the mouse to click on icons. So you get icons on the left side of the screen. One would be search, one would be inventory. So you can click on those using the mouse. But then ultimately, the action and control in which you control your character is best played, for me, best played on the controller. Because you need to aim. It's not like where you walk, you need to aim in the right direction as well. So you'll go forward. A zombie could be attacking from behind, so you need to control with the the right analog stick is your vision, and you have I think it's like a 45-degree cone vision in front of you, which lights the way as you're walking. A lot of the areas surrounding you is in the dark. You don't know there's a zombie behind you until you turn around, and as it's getting closer, you'll hear it. However, if you randomize, which I did, there are negative traits in this, as I said, but one of the negative traits is death. So you don't hear anything. I didn't realize it because I was doing a lot of randomizing. So you've selected your character, you know what your character's going to do, you randomize it. You can actually, there's quite a lot of ways in which you can change your character. You can change your character's hairstyle, male, female, and clothing and all that, what colour the socks are and everything. So there's quite, it's quite a bit there to do before you start off. But yeah, I didn't realise it when I went into the Steam page. I found out that I quit the game. It was like, oh, well, what's wrong with my game? I went into my settings. I couldn't hear nothing. What's going on with the settings? I didn't realise that was the trait, deafness. Short-sightedness is also a trait. But then, like I said, it's all about balance. You've got to, for every negative point, which is a positive trait, you've got to do a negative trait to get plus points. So yeah, you've got to balance it a little bit. Like I said, yeah, you go around the town. You've got to find. Obviously, there's certain events throughout the game. There will be hordes. It's going to be a horde mode, I think, comes along at some point. There are people that have played this and have managed to last in game like a year, and it's like for as long as it's been out. They've like years and months. I can't barely make it past 3 or 4 days without dying. And interestingly, the map, there's 4 maps that you can choose from, or map on the locations, and they are actually linked to the they are actually linked together, so it is the same map. When you spawn in, if you choose the same location that you did before, you're gonna spawn in quite close to where you was before. But every building that you loot once gets looted once, and that's it. So every time you spawn in, you've got to. It's a learning curve, especially for new players. If you are gonna get this game, just know that whatever you looted previously and died, those things will not be there when you get them. The game doesn't reset the map. The map is the same every time you spawn in. And as you open the map, or as you make progress throughout the map, through walking to building to building to road, whatever it is you're going to, whether it's a house or a store, once you've looted it, that's it. You have to. I actually found out that when you do die, you can actually come across your corpse sort of thing walking around as a zombie, which is quite cool. I like that idea. I like that fact. Some zombies will carry watches. Some houses will have a clock, which is useful because you need the time of day. Like I said, there is 3 events that happened, which get there's 3 broadcasts which happen. One is in the morning, one is the afternoon, and one is at night. I think it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. I think 3 in the afternoon and 11 o'clock at night. I think those are the 3 times. I could be wrong on those, but it'd be worth double checking those. You need to find a TV. Ideally, you want to find a watch or a timepiece, and that timepiece goes up to your right hand corner. So that makes it a little bit easier. By default, there are also different ways in which to play. So there is different modes, different game modes. There is Apocalypse. There's a sandbox mode. There is build mode and survival mode, and each has its own level of difficulty. By default, it's Apocalypse is already selected for you, so that's the highest. That's probably why I died a few times, because I didn't realize it until much later on. But if you change the mode, just to lower it, get a bit more experience in the game. I would definitely say go for maybe either survival or build mode. Those two. Yeah, there's a slight difference in difficulty there.
I'd say sandbox mode to start off with.
Sandbox mode would be a better one to go with. Yeah,
you can customize it.
Customize it to how you want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I started finding it more fun. I created one character. I didn't create just one character, but I streamed it on a Saturday once last weekend. I think it was. Played it. I had the worst kind of luck ever. I managed to walk from one side of the map to about maybe a third of the way, and I got chased by one zombie. I didn't have a weapon on me. Now, you can push zombies back and then curb stomp them, but you've got to hit them a few times. You've got to stamp on them a few times to do so. But I had one zombie just would not leave me alone, and my character needed to rest, and then it needed food, and it needed water, and I could not find anything. I was lost in the wilderness. There is traits that help you with the wilderness as well. I must mention that. So you can forage from the land, so you can pick up things like cockroaches, crickets, and eat those if you wish. A good trait would be probably iron gut, which would be a negative trait, but it would be a positive trait, but it costs you quite high in points. So then you just balance it. The zombies are very aware of your surroundings. Like I said before about the TV and the radio, they can hear you. So you'll need to really find headphones if you can to add to the TV or to the radio so you can listen to that broadcast. You can turn them down by the volume, but again, if you're in apocalypse mode, they're gonna hear it. Walking is loud. Running is even louder. There is a sprint button as well, so you can escape them. Now, as long as you lose line of sight, as long as you get line of sight, you'll lose them quickly enough. But as soon as you lost one group, you'll run into another one. I've been really enjoying this game. It is multiplayer. I'm not sure how many people. It does have. I'm trying to think what it what's it called now? It has remote play as well. So if you're on Steam, some of you got remote play and it's a multiplayer. You can play it single player. I have been. I had started to enjoy it quite a little bit later on after I was like kind of rage quitting a little bit. I was like, I'll keep dying, I keep dying. What am I doing wrong? It's a learning curve. Get used to. Once you get used to it, it's fine. It's not too bad a deal. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It is, again, it's another 15.49. So we both picked games at about 15.49 this week. It is the Indie Stone, developed and published by. It does get very positive reviews on Steam. I think it is only available on Steam. I haven't checked anywhere else for that.
No, it's not on console yet. It's on PC only at the moment.
Yeah, PC only. But yeah, like I said, I've really enjoyed it. I've been getting into it, and I've managed to I'm just trying to find balance, like different traits and different careers. Like I said, you could be unemployed or you could be a burglar. A burglar's good for breaking into cars if you can find them, but then you'll find that there's a car that needs petrol. I'm like, I found a car that needed petrol. I found a petrol station, but I didn't have a petrol can or a gas can. If you're American,
It,
I guess.
it sounds like it would be super fun.
It would be
Co-op.
super fine with if you're doing co-op. Again, like as long as you'll look after each other a lot more, I think. And if one of you's got if you had different traits as well, I added that on the co-op. Oh, it's a local player split screen up to 4 players as well. I must add that because
Oh, is it?
yeah,
That's rare these days, not when
yeah,
people do
local
local
4
co-op.
player split screen. There are hundreds of zombies with spawn mechanics. If you like The Walking Dead, this is definitely going to give you that kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it reminds me of that. Yeah.
It's very much Walking Dead-esque. You've
I
got
wonder if
to.
you find. Sorry, Steve. I wonder if
Okay.
you find NPCs and that in it,
Um,
like groups of people,
currently
or
they
is it just other players that you
no,
find?
yeah. Currently there is only online players that you'll find. There is
Oh, I see.
no. From what I've read, I think that will be added. At the moment, it is early access, and it is there. It's build 41 now, so I'm thinking that they are going to include NPCs later down the line. I'd love to I'd love to keep playing this as long as they keep adding to it. And until I get bored of it, I'll carry on, I think. But I'd love to do it with a multiplayer, like I said, in multiplayer. You can host your own game. You can join other people's games. I've been enjoying it, and yeah, that's just my take on it. That is just
It's quite fun.
my first impressions of it was I didn't like it, and then I got to like it. So yeah. Trying to last as long as I can. I think my longest streak was probably 2 days. That doesn't sound a lot, but in game, that's quite. You actually go for quite a lot. I think is it every 10 minutes? Might be an hour. I think I'm not sure the exact timing of it. Usually it's about 10 minutes in game time.
Yeah, I think so. I think
It's
that
kind of
is
a standard sort
accurate.
of like.
I've watched a lot of gameplay of it because I was looking at buying it when it was in the sale. Um, but the only thing that put me off is just like, oh, it looks like it's going to be a very big time sink, and
Yeah,
I've got enough time sink games right now.
yeah.
But I would definitely pick it up for multiplayer. Definitely. Um, it like I said, it's in early access. I actually played it. The very way back in the day when it first released, I actually refunded it on Steam.
Yeah, yeah,
When I first, because back in the, this is when early access first, like literally just launched.
yeah,
They were one of the first early access titles, I believe. And when they first launched, the game was it was in a bit of a bad state. So what they did was that they basically Steam at the time, Steam were like, we'll give refunds to all um, early access titles. Well, I wish I'd kept it now, as all the updates and stuff. But back then, I was Billy No Mates. So I had no one to play with online. So it's like single
yeah,
player game, like you say. I can relate to the hardness of it. And back then, it was there wasn't as much to do, and it was a smaller map, and there was just zombies just everywhere eating your face. And I like you say, you just die. I spent 20 minutes just dying over and over
Yeah.
again. You know how I feel about
I
games where you die over and over
die.
again.
Yeah, that was
So
my take on it. But yeah.
but it looks really good, and I think with a group of us, I reckon it'd be hilarious.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
100%. It gives me that World War Z vibe,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's like World War Z meets The Sims. That's what it reminds me of. Like, as you got your needs and mental state. It's pretty much like The Sims, really. Where it's settled, but it's obviously it's a little bit more in depth than that.
Yeah.
But it does look a lot of fun, and I did actually watch someone stream it where they were on like day 300 and something,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
they run out of like they ran out. They were cooking. They were trying to make something, and they needed berries, and they went out to their farmyard, and they hadn't realised that the zombies had broken through the defences, and he went to his. Like I say, because you can't see anything, and it was night time, and he didn't have his torch on because he thought it was safe. He went out there, and there was a massive group of zombies all holding around his cherry, the stuff that he was. I think it's cherries. I'm not sure. You know, it might have been some other farming item, and it just killed him.
It's just the most...
I can't remember who he was, but he literally threw his keyboard across the room,
Oh, wow.
and
Yeah, I can imagine.
he was so peed off. He's like hundreds of hours into that game, and he lost his character because the game didn't give him any. Because he said that it should have told him that he had something in place, but it should have told him that it broken through, but it didn't work. he's raged quit big time. And I wish I could remember who he was because it was really funny to see that. But I can understand because it's permanent death, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you die, you have to make a
that's
new
it.
character.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
do actually get successful in this game and you die, I can see that being quite a bit difficult to swallow. It's like hardcore in any other game where you make progress. You're like, yes, I finally got this, that, the other, and the next minute you're dead. It's like no.
Why she was mentioning this, what I forgot to mention actually, there like the some of the events that happen in game is that at certain point the water gets switched off, and then later on the electricity gets switched off. So you
Oh,
have to then rely on whatever water you've stored, plus like you like as you mentioned with that streamer was growing. There is farming involved that will help you with food.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just that you then have to. There are generators. Obviously, like I said, making sounds will draw them nearer. So you need to find a generator, but you want a generator to power your electricity so you could still hear those broadcasts. I'm not sure if there's a stopping point on broadcasts. Again, I haven't gone too far into it, but I know some things that have happened. Like I said, just going back to that briefly, that helicopter thing, I'm not sure why I got the helicopter thing. I think I just died so many times that days continued on. I think you just continue on. I'm not entirely sure.
Right.
I don't want to give that I don't want to say that as it's a gospel. I'm just saying I've read and seen different things, but again, it's all about me just still learning the game as well. But I think I watched a YouTuber just to find out what happens in the early stages, and they mentioned that the helicopter comes every 9 days, but I'd heard it after playing it a few times. Maybe I just created so many characters who have died that in game it had 9 days may have already elapsed. I don't know. But I just wanted to clarify that because I don't want people coming at me going, "Oh, what are you talking about?" Yeah, those.
All this.
Yeah, but this is my Max Gentleman as at the moment. What Max Gentleman was for you, like where you're going into, you're just constantly playing. I just haven't stopped playing it for so long now. Since rage quitting it the first time I played it, and I got to the point where I'd already passed that Steam threshold where you couldn't get a refund, or you might have been able to, but they always deny you it if you've done more than 2 hours. I think I've done like 2 hours and a half or something. I don't know, but it was like
It's up to 4 hours.
4 hours. Yeah,
Yes,
I don't know.
yeah. If you push it, it's 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, little tip there.
But
4 hours.
yeah, I I thought I'd gone beyond that, so I came back to it, and then I started enjoying it. I had a change of heart for the game. It's a really fun game though. I
Some
find it fun.
some games do that though. You do your first take might not be the best, and you go back and you go away from it, and you come back to it, and then you enjoy it again. And I don't want to mention it because I talked about it to death already. But Elden Ring was the same for me. I thought it was going to be. I hated it when I first played it. Absolutely despised it. Thought, there we go, Dark Souls 3. I'm never going to be able to do this. And and then I turned it off. I went back to it a couple of hours later, and I thought, sod this. I'm gonna play it, and I'm just gonna avoid everything to start off with. So, but the game is what you make of it. How you play the game is whether it's hard or not. It's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
it's solely based on your decisions. So it's literally like if what you would do in the real world, but in the simulation. So if you're thinking that you're going to survive The Walking Dead, this is a game to test it in. Because
Yeah.
if you're loud, proud, and stupid, you will be dead within faster than you can blink, just like you would in the real apocalypse. So it's quite interesting in that aspect. It's what would you do in the apocalypse? And that's exactly what this game sort of builds around, which is why it's very interesting, and it is in a much better position now than when I first played it. So I will definitely pick this up, and I would urge people to pick this up as well. And if you're quite prudent with sales, like a lot of our the Steam veterans we are, a good sale we love, even if we don't play the game, we buy them anyway. So it's I would recommend if you're not too sure on it, get it in a sale, and if you've got a few mates you like these sort of games, I would highly recommend that you play it together. Obviously, any multiplayer game. I know they only just added co-op, but so when I was reading the comments of the reviews, everybody said co-op is amazing in this game,
Yeah, yeah.
and they've had so much fun. It's like improved the game massively because apparently, from what I gather, the community has been asking for co-op since like Build 12.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's been demand for co-op for a very long time. So now I think there's not a very big development team, is it? I don't think it's got a massive studio behind it. Um, the team that makes it's made by who's it made by again, Steve?
It it's made by the Indie Stone.
Right.
Developed by the Indie Stone and published by the Indie Stone.
All right. So it doesn't sound like they're particularly massive. So they said that the reason it took so long to implement is they had to expand their team from what the dev notes that I read when they said about co-op. That's why it took so long. But it's definitely. I mean, our community. I can see Alex playing this. I think a few people already own this actually on the friends list. I think I'm one of the few that actually don't own this game. um, who owns it? It was the Steam will. That's irrelevant. I'll look it up later. But I definitely would think that this would be a great co-op game to adventure in, and there'll be many highlights, I'm sure, of us getting murdered,
Yeah,
trying to,
yeah.
you know, like Valheim trying to cut down the tree. Out comes a zombie, bleh, dead. Trying to loot a house, set the alarm off, and then a whole of zombies come along and eat your face. It definitely looks really really good. Like I said, if you're not too sure about it, as with any other access title, if you can get it cheaper, always the best option. But if like the only thing I'd say, if you get like an external key, be aware that you won't get a refund if you obviously claim it on Steam. So if you want a refund, it's best go if you're not too sure on it and you would like to be able to know no nonsense refund. It's best to get it through Steam. And if you like I said, wait for a sale. I think I saw this in the sale for £7. So it usually goes down to like half price when it's in the sale, or at least 40% off. So it's 15 and a half, £15 49. So if it's like 50%, 40%, it's like £8, £7. So it's definitely worth picking up. So I'm sort of taking over from Steve here, but
It's fine.
it's an exceptionally good little indie game, and I've watched enough of it to know that it's really enjoyable, and I've seen enough of it
I
to know that it causes a few rage moments for a few people.
I was just to sort of cut in there. I was just trying to get Beth into the call, but so hopefully she might be
Sorry,
joining.
Beth. Sorry,
It's
Beth.
fine.
Did I interrupt you
It's
joining
fine.
us?
No, it's just
Right,
me. Yeah, it's fine if she wants to join in.
let's get Beth in then.
Get Beth in.
Let's get Beth in. I'll stop talking for a minute so she can come.
No, that's fine.
Beth, where are you? Beth,
Beth.
Beth.
Oh, don't go shying us. Like you're part of the team.
Go on, click the little camera button.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Don't
Project.
take that out of context. Oh dear. I did talking about digging graves. I just dug myself a massive one and jumped right into it.
Because we don't need to get. Oh, I've just dropped me thing. Yeah, oh, damn it. Right. That's gone off.
Uh-oh. Right. A little birdie has told me that it's £8 on the key websites. So
Yeah.
if you want to buy it on a third party website, it's £8. That's I suppose that's not too bad.
Oh, okay. Right, she thinks she's going to be joined. I've got to. There we go. I'm back up. Hey. Right, so we're going to get Beth into the call now. Oh.
Yes, we're going to have to redo the whole setup.
That's fine. That's fine. We're going to just drop.
It's really the top half of our heads are in the corner.
Yeah, there we go. That's what it's going to look like. Giving a brief. It's fine because no one's going to see it because we're a podcast.
Exactly.
So apart from everyone who's actually watching live.
Watching now, yeah. Please stand by while we have technical difficulties to rearrange our faces.
Yeah, can we? Yeah, what's that technical? That's that technical difficulty music that comes up.
Yeah.
We should just put that in.
Oh
man.
yeah, that would be great. Yeah, sort of like elevator lift music. Yeah, I've actually got some of that. Some stock music.
Footage,
yeah. I've got actually. Yeah. So, DMCA free as well. So they got worried for DMCA coming for us.
Oh dear. Everyone's got. Don't go silent on this.
No.
No,
No silence.
It's going to be a big gap. Whilst we're watching, but I'll edit that down. I'll do it in post. It's fine.
She's unavailable to join right now.
Oh, she unavailable to join.
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay.
All right. So
what we do?
Should we move on to the state of play then?
Let's go on to state of play. So this is
and then hopefully she'll get to join us afterwards.
Yeah.
So I'll get the video. I've got the video loaded up. We can watch it from Discord if that makes it easier.
All right.
I've got it loaded up. I'll play it for the audience, and then I'll switch over. You can prep. I've actually already seen this, but I haven't reacted to it. So.
All right.
I've saw bits and pieces.
Live reaction is always
yeah. So I'm gonna mute it because I don't know what DMCA stuff.
Yeah, I got stung last time I did this.
You could I know it's just, you could probably edit this out. You could throw up my stream and watch it on that if you want to watch together. I'm not sure if I load up Discord, it's gonna cut me off again because it keeps disconnecting my camera. I keep freezing. It's like I'm in stop motion.
I can actually play. This on my.
Right, so I'm going to play it. I'm playing it now. I'll play it now. 1, 2, 3, play. So it should open up. Thankfully, we can skip through all the. No, I think this is a trailer. Okay, so it's opening up with the trailer.
The year 2043.
Yeah, and we got some forecast with the robot.
Yeah.
Anubis.
Hang
on, this looks like Iron Man on steroids. Dun, 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 dun. We are a bunch of copyrighted Iron Men.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Anthem. Anthem all over again.
Oh no! Please don't do that. Anthem. Anthem, you piece of fouled crap. Right.
Dinosaurs.
It is dinosaurs coming out of a big. Just to give a descriptive sort of what's going on, because
it's a big ball in the sky. Dinosaurs falling out of it.
And when it is Capcom,
right. It's going to be some weird.
It's not Dino Crisis, is it?
I was about to say that.
Is it like a Dino Crisis callback? Because that was Capcom as well, and you got dinosaurs coming out of a portal or some kind of black hole.
Leviathan.
And
Yes, we're looking at a bunch of mech suits and loads of
people in
like
mech
NPCs
suits and
talking.
shit.
This looks like a co-op shooter.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, there you go. It's a wave. It's a co-op wave thing where you
Oh, so
shoot
it's Back for Blood, but with
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, Back from
Instead of-
Blood with mechs and dinosaurs. That's always a good combination.
It's a
And
different take on,
oh no, it's what's that? Supreme. Where they Centurions. They're not Centurion
Centurions?
armor. They called them down. And he's changed. He changed armor mid-fight. Then Supreme. He called it different armor. I know it's not single player content.
Oh, yeah. And you get taken down by the Kims. The T-Rex is going to
T-Rex.
roar.
The giant T-Rex. And he's got. Yeah, it's a co-op. It's a co-op thing. You've got a geezer with a shield. You've got a medic,
basically, it is Back for Blood, but with instead of zombies, it's dinosaurs, and you got weapons. That
Exo-Primal.
Exo-Primal. Right.
Never heard of it.
No.
So that's going to be an exclusive for PlayStation, is it?
Exo Fighter Recruit, right? Welcome to it.
Coming in 2023. It's not even coming out this year.
2023. So yeah, that's still going to be on both PlayStation because this is what we are looking at. Obviously, it's
PS4 and PS5
from the PlayStation. Just to clarify,
that's going to run like 10 frames per second on the PS4.
Oh, it's going to run like
that ain't going to run on the PS4.
That is going to tank. That is going to tank.
Yeah, big time. That's going to be so downgraded. Oh, Ghostwire Tokyo.
Ghost.
I wanted to talk about this later, but this is the trailer. I actually haven't seen this trailer.
This trailer looks actually.
Is that live action? No, it's no CGI. I thought that was live action for a minute then.
Yeah, so just
scary looking dude.
So obviously
there's some freaky deaky stuff. Some freaky deaky stuff
This
here.
is the freaky weird shit going right on now. Some dude on a motorbike.
This is
going
Silent
through the
Hill.
streets of.
Is this from the guy that made Silent Hill?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that's why it's freaky deaky then.
Yeah. Is that Paris as well?
No, it's all in Tokyo as far as I'm aware.
It just looked like the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, it might have some hallucinations or
hallucinations. Yeah,
stuff.
so running up.
Okay, so we've got cutscenes where that's obviously in the cutscene our guy gets his ass kicked every time.
Naturally,
because we can't control him.
Dream sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah. This looks better than the last game. I can tell you that.
Yeah, just a tad. Hunt for the truth.
As long as
kill everything.
It doesn't say whether this is in-game graphics, but like that.
It's in-game.
That was in-game.
Yeah,
she looks freaky.
This is going to be so creepy and so good at the same time.
This is the sort
action horror sort of horror aims I like.
Do I have to get a PS5 now to play this? Damn it! Face the unknown.
Thing is, there's not enough money in the kitty for all these games coming out. It's not enough money and time.
There's not enough. I can't justify. March 25th, 2022. So actually, it's quite close.
Yes, end of the month. Yeah,
end of the month. We did actually mention that last week.
This is Final Fantasy Origin.
Yeah.
This is the Ninja Scroll Final Fantasy game. So it's like Devil May Cry meets Final Fantasy. This is apparently a reimagining of the first ever Final Fantasy game.
Is it just combat or turn-based or?
No, it's fully fledged combat, like Devil May Cry combat.
Stranger of Paradise. March the 18th.
Oh, it's a demo. There's a demo.
There's a demo.
What? I'm gonna have to play that.
There's a demo currently now. I mean, that looks kind of tasty as well.
It's like Devil May Cry sort of thing. Forspoken. Now, this game I'm looking forward to, whereas this is something a bit different.
Forspoken what's this? A RPG.
It's an open world RPG. Female protagonist.
Square Enix.
Could do like ridiculous amounts of like Merlin on steroids.
Yeah.
She can literally.
You're a big ass mage.
Yeah, the chosen one. It's a familiar story. Sent to a different world. You're the chosen one to save it. It's very anime storyline-ish.
Yeah.
So, and then you don't know your powers. You find your way. Blah blah blah. Get your ass kicked everywhere, and then suddenly you're like, I'm a chosen one. Rah! And then suddenly become good. For something like that, I reckon something like that is going to be happening. Oh, open world. That looks very Breath of the Wild-y.
Oh, it does look pretty.
Breath of
like
the Wild and
the
Ghost of
fields.
Tsushima.
Yes, exactly. That was.
Yeah, it looks very much like that.
Oh, there's a little bit of a.
That's cool. She really whipped that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, she whipped him into
Hey.
shape.
Oh, it's explosions. Cool girls, look at explosions. Oh, this looks like it's even hammer the frame rate on the PS5 because this frame rate on this trailer is not very great.
Yeah.
it's
So
like it's like 10, 15 frames a second here. Come on, it's supposed to be a showcase, PlayStation. Look at this really slow frames. I'm sure the game won't run like that. I'm sure it's just the rendering issue. Looks amazing though. She looks like she could take out everything by her fingertips.
yeah, there we go.
Forspoken,
Forspoken.
overpowered the game.
So
Coming October the 11th.
October the 11th, pre-order now.
Woo! Just in time for Christmas.
Yeah.
I hope it's good. I hope it's preachy. I hope it's a well written story and not some crappy narrative. I don't know nothing about the stories. I'm hoping it's well written.
So what we got?
I don't know what this is. This is some. Oh, this is. I have no idea. Some robot shooter.
Robot shooter for FPS kind of thing.
Oh, welcome to the battlefield. What?
Welcome to the battlefield.
Gundam? This looks like Gundam.
Yeah, it is.
Or Transformers.
I think it was. Right. Yeah, it's that kind of
Anime robots. The game.
anime robots. Oh,
we have 3 game modes. Wow. 2022. We have 3 game modes. Everybody.
Point capture.
We have a copy and paste first person shooter.
Domination.
We have the new Halo Infinite. This is Halo Infinite with robots.
It is. Capture the flag.
Oh, look. If there's anything missing, these robots. Not robots.
I can almost hear it now. Headshot. Yeah.
Oh, they should bring back. They should remaster the old Unreal Tournament games. They would be amazing now.
See, if you want something like that, yeah. Well, I don't like a lot of remasters because it's just rescanning stuff, or sometimes, and that's all they're going to do. Yeah. But like, there's some things that they should do, they never do.
Gundam Evolution. There you go. I called it Gundam.
Gundam
Evolution. Anime shooter the game. So the license will sell that.
And that looks. I don't know. The frame rate on that was dropping quite a lot.
It looks tacky as all hell. It's just like, oh, Turtles, the Cowabunga collection. Oh, old school games.
Old school.
Oh, the ones that I owned all these on the Super Nintendo and
this is Game Boy. This is like your 12-bit, your 8-bit, whatever.
Yeah, the classic games that are actually hard as balls. I played that. I used to love that game, Tournament Fighters. I was really good at that back in the day. I used to play that all the time along with Street Fighter. And that was the first arcade game I ever went back to. Turtles one. I played it all the time in the arcades down in Devon.
Fighters, yeah, Turtles in Time.
Turtles in Time's great.
Yeah. All of them, all on one.
Not expensive.
All in one package.
Yeah, that's not like it's 40 quid. It's like really.
Just says coming 2022 doesn't actually.
Yeah, hopefully that's 15 quid or something. Ain't cheap. Right. What's this?
All right. This looks like. Well, I have no idea.
This looks like it's another arena brawler.
Yeah.
It's Monsters. It's Godzilla the game. It's Anime Monsters the game.
Anime Monsters. Yeah, we're
going. Oh, it's like those old school games where you destroy the city fighting each other.
Yeah.
Just the Giga Bash.
Cool. Bash coming 2022.
Coming sometime soon.
They haven't got a set date because they don't know when they can release it.
Here's a quick demonstration and a title. There you go. Coming sometime never.
Right, we've got footage, not actual gameplay.
This is JoJo. So, it's another anime game.
Anime. It is. It's
this is JoJo. JoJo Bizarre. Oh no, this is the fighting game. This is the fighting game. This is the JoJo Bizarre Adventure fighting game. All Star Fighters. I saw this. Yeah, because I was looking. I'll get that. This like Fighter Z, but JoJo.
Yeah.
Oh, Dio, my name is Dio.
So if
All
you
the
like, I
memes will come
mean,
out.
if you like
I
anime,
I
then
love this. I love JoJo's Adventure up until chapter 6, and then
there's
I refuse to read it, and watch it after that because spoilers. Close your ears if you don't want to hear the next sentence I say. But they kill off one of my favourite characters. I'm not going to say who. They kill off one of my favourite characters, and I've abandoned it since that. I've refused to watch it because
anyone
I
who's
don't care about
played it
anybody
will
else.
know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
anyone who's read it, watched it, knows who I'm talking about. It makes me sad.
Jojo.
He died in such
Jojo's
a stupid way as well. I don't care that no, I can't talk about it.
All-Star
Spoilers.
Battle, Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, 50 characters on release. Unlike what's it called?
Early
Demon
fall,
Slayer, which had no characters
so
on release.
towards the end of the year, that one.
Yeah, that's gonna do well, that one, because everyone loves a bit of JoJo.
Right, so we're currently about halfway through this this showcase.
I know it's silent, folks, but it's because of I'm
Yeah,
not sure how the Spotify would react to
the
having sound in the or any other like RSS
Trek.
streaming.
I missed.
What's this? This is some
I don't know. It's black and white. It's
some old
another. It's
school
another
style samurai
samurai. Is
side scroller.
it? What's
Okay.
this side? Yeah.
Oh, this looks like Sekiro side scroller, the game. I'm guessing they got inspired by the Ghost of Tsushima's old school black and white mode. They want to make a whole game of that with samurais and demons. There's going to be demons in this, isn't there? There's always demons with samurais.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Yeah. Straight away, look, we got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you're
gonna be magic and stuff.
fighting
Yeah.
ghosts.
Magic and all sorts of nonsense. Yeah, demons. There you go. There's demons there. Called it. Called it. It's almost like I could write my own game. Like that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, when he gets risen up again. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I hope that happens in the game. And that isn't just for the trailer. Trick to Yumi, starring people we've never heard of. Sarah Emmy Birdcut. Was her name Birdcut?
Birdcat, yeah.
sorry, but that made me laugh. Birdcut.
So
Does she cut
I'm not
birds?
sure any of these names are,
No, they're probably famous
Japanese
Chinese actors.
voice actors.
Yeah, probably are very famous. I'm sorry, I apologise if you know who she is. I don't have a clue. It's got a funny name to me.
This is from Sony Studios.
Oh, this is Returnal DLC. It can't be Returnal 2. It ain't been long enough.
Yeah, so Returnal DLC then.
Yeah, I hated that game. Hated it. I don't know why everyone loved it so much or loves it. Hate it. I hate the fact that you can't save the game is ridiculous. They're adding a co-op mode apparently.
Oh, so there's now 2-player.
Yeah.
Rather than just making that game experience last. I mean, for a game that was like £70 or whatever.
Yeah,
came out.
It's disgusting how much it was. I didn't pay that for that, and I still felt ripped off. It's a game that you can't save. If you got to pay, you got to play for 10 hours in one sitting to get anywhere. That's if you don't die. Nah, no thanks. Poor game design. It might be amazing story and graphics and gameplay and all that, but if you can't save your progress,
but someone might like it.
Yeah, they do. The sadists like it. All the no-lifers that can sit in front of their console and play 24/7 without having to get up, toilet underneath them, fridge next to them.
The
deliveries on tap,
playing it on.
do nothing.
I mean,
yeah.
For those who probably got that PS5 when it came out, because that was one of the launch games.
It's the launch games. Yeah, it was one of the launch games. Yeah.
Yeah, that Returnal. It is.
Update 3.0 Returnal Ascension, March 22.
So yeah, again towards the end of this month.
Yeah, it's a free DLC. So I guess at least it's free.
Yeah, well there you go. It's free. So not.
They get some bonus points. Not many. They get some. What is this? This has been a very drab state of play. I mean, the only game worth talking about is Tokyo Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah.
What's this? Some sort of is this Fire Emblem or something similar, or is this Final Fantasy equivalent Fire Emblem? It looks like it's going to be a strategy game of some sort.
Yeah, it looks like an RTS, doesn't it?
Yeah, CGI trailer. Boo! Show me some gameplay. Square Enix with a brilliant CGI trailer, completely devoid of what the game looks like.
Yeah.
We have a map.
Which
I can't even say
stealth
that.
Trevelt.
Royal Alliance.
Oh, yeah.
What am I supposed to? Is supposed to mean anything to me? We are the kingdom of Eltane. Oh, no one cares. We are kingdom of generic storytelling. Blah 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 blah. Someone's in trouble. Blah blah blah. We must save the kingdom. Blah blah blah. Send our army. Blah blah blah. Oh, it's XCOM.
Yeah,
Sort of
it's kind of yeah. All right, so
real time. It's XCOM Final Fantasy style.
Yeah.
No,
Turnstile.
no, thank you. This
It's
looks
a
like a right
turn.
snooze fest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool and all summons and stuff. You know, it's flashy, but come on, that's only
Yeah.
doing 355
There we
damage.
go.
You just annihilated the planet. 355 damage.
RTS.
Yeah,
As predicted, we knew that.
It looks cool. I mean, it looks. If you're into that sort of stuff, then great. I've not liked XCOM games for quite some time, so I don't like that sort of turn-based style game anymore.
I tried XCOM and it was a failed attempt.
Yeah, it's another game of permanent death. So I lost all my. I got to the last. I got to the first one. I got to the end of the game. The Dio Field Chronicles. The no one's going to play Chronicles coming 2022. Am I being harsh? I don't think those sort of games work well on console. That's a PC game, isn't it? Really, that works better.
Yeah,
on
I
PC.
think they do work better on PC. It's just I think that a lot more.
It looks like it'd get very repetitive very quickly, like that sort of environment. Like,
yeah, it's just different locations, but the same gameplay,
yeah.
isn't it? That's what it's going to be.
You could call some flashy summons now and again that don't do the damage they're supposed to. Oh, she looks angry. She looks like a Valkyrie.
Yeah.
It's just some sort of Volume-inspired Final Fantasy game. Oh, it's Breath of the Wild again.
Again, it's that kind of.
Breath of the Wild meets Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Sort of imagery.
Slightly more linear version, isn't it?
Oh look! Speaking of Elden Ring, there's a big ass tree. Quick! Let's make a big tree it sells. It's Game of the Year material. A big shiny tree in it. Derelict castles, dungeons. Flashy trees. You can tell big ass bosses. Oh yeah, you can see what they're inspired by. Is this a Final Fantasy Souls like? It looks like it might be.
It is, isn't it?
But it's maybe a little bit more actiony based. Yeah, you got health power ups and shit. You run pick up, so like Devil May Cry esque. I mean, it looks interesting enough, but the game is the market is overrun with games like this, man. There's way too many. Valkyrie Elysium, whatever it is called.
Valkyrie, Elysium.
Yeah.
Just says 2022. That's it. We've got no confirmed date.
No.
Just the year. Which means that it gets towards the end of the year when it hasn't come out, and then they'll just release it in January.
Is that it?
And that is that's it. I think that's the
last one. Wow.
I can honestly say when it comes to like new gen games and stuff. Right, I'm gonna stop that because last time I didn't stop it. It went on to a new video when we did one of these before, and I got hit with a copyright claim on that
Did you?
last time I got hit with a copyright claim, and then they backed down because it was from YouTube. So then they backed down and went, well, no, we've reviewed that, so you don't need to worry. I was like, well, okay. So yeah, that's why I don't have sound for that, and I'm gonna close YouTube now. So what do you think of that? What we've
I,
seen?
I apart from obviously the games we know about, that was terrible. That was if that's the best PlayStation could produce this year. Quite shocking year for PlayStation owners, really.
Yeah,
I mean, all the decent titles are already cross-platform, and then the only game they've got, the only like, couple of games that really stand out for me amongst that is Forspoken
yeah.
and Ghostwire Tokyo. That's it.
Ghostwire is the only, if that's the only reason for me to go and buy a PS5,
PS5.
then I probably just wait to see if they're gonna do a PC release, because there's no other way I'm gonna watch. I don't think I'm gonna buy that just for that.
That's the thing. Most of these PlayStation exclusives will be on PC next year, so there really
Yeah,
isn't much incentive right now to own,
they did
to
that
have a
with
PS5.
they've did it with a few games. I think the first Horizon is now available
Yeah,
on um on PC on Steam
I
now.
mean, you got Ragnarok. There was no
Yeah,
mention of
that's
Ragnarok there.
yeah,
That's another massive release. But that's it really. There isn't really much else. Um, I mean, you had Gran Turismo 7 come out. Was it last couple of weeks ago
yeah,
or last week? I
yeah.
mean, obviously that's a obviously exclusive, and the Gran Turismo games are always good if you like racing games. But that was. I refer to a title I used in my old YouTube videos, State of Nay. There was nothing worth mentioning in that list that we haven't already mentioned before, and quite shocking, really. The only new game in there was a cookie copy and paste Halo Infinite ripoff with the Gundam skin
Yeah, yeah,
written all
yeah.
over it. And obviously got JoJo's All Star Battle is not exclusive to PlayStation. That's on the Xbox as well.
Right.
Um, and where's Final Fantasy 16? Where's the gameplay of that? Where's the new footage of that? Where's all these juicy exclusives that they said were coming this year? They're all apart from Ragnarok. Is Ragnarok supposed to come out this year or is it next year?
I thought that what I thought,
I thought it was this year. I thought it was fall this year, but I might be hoping too much there. But yeah, that was poor in my opinion. That was a poor showing from Sony. Poor. Nothing.
I expect better than that, Sony. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't,
especially.
like I said, I haven't gone back to a console for a long time, but
Yeah,
I still keep up with what's going on, and I think Sony have definitely losing out now. They're losing their way. I think they're losing on what they want to bring out.
yeah.
Um,
Xbox are light years ahead of them in terms of
yeah,
like functionality,
it,
accessibility. Game Pass is just getting more stronger and stronger
it
every
was,
week.
yeah, it was. There was a time when owning a PS4 over the Xbox was much more
Yeah,
beneficial.
yeah.
I
Some of the better games.
think since PS5's launch, they've gone a little bit downhill.
Yeah,
And they seem to be getting that hill seems to be getting a little bit steeper for them to turn around.
yeah,
And that's just from my own observation of what's happening at the moment in terms of gaming.
yeah.
Like I said, I don't own a PS5, but I used to own a PS4 and an Xbox. I've been both a console player for many years
Hmm.
before coming on over before switching over to PC.
Yeah.
I've got nothing against like either or, but the way the state is at the moment with some of the games, I feel like if I was going to get a console now, if I didn't get it on Game Pass, I'd get the Xbox certainly.
Mm,
Which,
definitely.
yeah,
I think PlayStation need to hurry up and launch their subscription service with all their catalog of games on there,
yeah,
and that they need to sort of like what they need to do with the best PS4 games is not release an enhanced version, is release a complete overhaul system. I know it's probably too much time consuming, but I would happily pay for a remake of Days Gone on the PS5, like a proper PS5 version that actually runs properly at 60 frames per second and can actually handle what the heck's going on. It runs okay on the PS5, but it still glitches out and bugs. I can't get into it. Really annoying. I couldn't play it on the PS4 because it didn't run it properly. So when I got the PS5, I was like, oh, I'll be able to play that, and still can't play it. It's when you got a hold of zombies after you, 100 wreckers or neckers, whatever they're called, the freaks, 100 ficos. The game just goes, it just stalks. That's probably the game. That's probably the game, not the PlayStation.
Yeah.
But like you say, there's no incentive to buy a PS5. I got a PS5 thinking, I got a PS5 for Final Fantasy 7, to be honest with you, for the DLC, which turned out to be a bit of a letdown compared to what I was expecting from the because I completed the base game on the PS4, and that was an exclusive to PlayStation. Free place. A lot of these. I think we'll cover this. Pro tip is if you have a PS5, get the PS4 version, you get a free upgrade. It's pretty much every PS4 game is still doing this for the most part because most people don't have a PS5, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's because they're not as hard to get anymore. I think a lot of people don't have a PS5. It's because there's not a lot of value in having a PS5 right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They charge 70 quid for games, especially if you buy the digital console, and you have to pay the exorbitant prices on their overpriced store. There isn't much going for them. All the games, like I say, most of them are cross-platform, Xbox, PC, Switch, and PlayStation, and there isn't. These games that are coming out, there's nothing that's been truly next gen for me. The next gen game I want to see is 8K, 60 frames per second with graphics that will blow your mind,
Yeah.
and a gameplay loop that is a bit different and unique, and a game that's different and unique. Not the same sort of stuff we've seen. I know it's quite difficult because in the bazillions of games we've had since the gaming world started back in 1970 something. It's There's probably going to be no way it hasn't already been done already, but there's going to be different takes and interpretations of said genres. Actually, all we need is a bit of innovation.
Yeah.
And the game. I said this. I think me and Beth said this last time. First person shooters, especially,
Yeah.
they're so boring. I look at the first person shooter and my brain just switches off. It's like, there we go, it's another multiplayer game. You know, it's just there's not many single player FPSs. They're all indie titles now, and most of them are indie titles, and all Doom rip-offs.
Yeah.
You know, looking at you, Shadow Warrior, and you know, and Duke Nukem rip-offs. There's nothing innovative with the first-person shooters. Someone says, "Oh, COD's innovative." I will slap you with your controller. It's not. It is not. Sorry, no, sorry, fanboys. It's not. It's copy and paste the game, and I think that's what PlayStation is suffering from right now. They've got a lot of we've got these great PS4 titles that you get for included in your PlayStation subscription. You get these 20 games for free if you have a PS5 and a PlayStation Plus subscription. Problem is, like, if you're anything like me, you already own all the games, so there's no incentive to get a PS5 to run them at 60 frames per second, 4K. And I said this last time. That's not to me. That's not next generation. That's just improving on the generation before because it was already we already had 4K in the PlayStation Pro. So just because you can bump up to 60 frames per second, to me, it's not next generation. Next generation, I would say, is more on PC because the hardware you can get puts the PS5 and Xbox to shame.
Yeah.
It literally destroys it in terms of powerful. You need a mortgage to run the machine, but it would, you know, it would be amazing to have something, you know, probably something like an aircraft carrier as well. I think I'm going to have to beat it apart a little bit here, but it's just like I was just getting. The whole point is it's not value for money. If you're looking to get, if you want to get, I know it is value for money if you don't have a console, and you say you don't own any console whatsoever. You've never gone into ventured into gaming whatsoever. I would argue that the Xbox Series S is a good starting point for new gamers and people that want to experience because you get the Game Pass included with it, and you get like 200 games. like instant available at your fingertips, and literally 90% of them are literally within the last year or two. So you're getting and all brand new releases made by Xbox under the Xbox umbrella will all be released as well day one. You download or stream to your relevant devices, so tablets, phones, your consoles. You can even stream to your console if you don't have a big hard drive, which is a godsend for the Xbox Series S because it only has a 500 gigabyte hard drive. And the expansion, and this is where I had issue with Xbox, you cheeky skits, is that the official Seagate expansion is £190 for a 1 terabyte expansion.
Wow.
It's almost as much as the console itself.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean that is a big naughty.
No.
And you can attach third-party hard drives, but they don't work as good, obviously. Because Xbox are not gonna make their console work with third-party stuff when they want to sell you. Here, buy this extra space. I think I've said this before. I'm sure I've said this before a little while ago, moaning about this sort of thing. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself a little bit.
Hey.
Hey,
I think today's show's been a bit of repetition today.
that's the title for the show. It's Deja Vu. Right, I'll shut up about it now. But it's like I can say it's not worth it. If you're brand new to and you think, oh, I can't fancy myself to have a little slap and tickle with the gaming, I would suggest getting the Xbox Series S. It's this £240 entry point. It's as good as most gaming PCs out there. At least mid-range. I would say it's as good as a mid-range PC easily. The Xbox One X Series X is a little bit more powerful, and obviously it's depending on yourself. But I wouldn't if you're a new gamer, that's definitely the way to go. Game Pass, 100%.
Yeah.
Like I said, if PlayStation don't get on the ball and release their own subscription service, because their PlayStation Now subscription service is like £14 a month, and it's just a bunch of old games that you already have if you've been paying for PlayStation Plus, because almost all of those games will be on PlayStation Plus. And it's a little tip for you: if you know someone that has a PS5 and you own a PS4 and you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, if you sign in to your friend's PS5, you will unlock those 20 games on the PS5 for your account. So you'll get a free 20 game windfall just for logging in onto a PS5, because they will think that you have bought a PS5. You're welcome.
Wow. There we go. We had last time you was on. We gave a little bit of consumer advice. Yeah. Now we're just doing it again. Now we aim to please. We aim to please.
Tips appreciated.
All right. I think we should we can move on from that now.
Yes, we can.
Cover that extensively. Do we have any other, now we've sort of gone over that? Is there any news that you wanted to discuss?
There is a few news items. Yes, there is a few.
Excuse me, 1 second.
News items. Let me just load them up. Repetition's the name of tonight. So we're going to be going over. There's a little thing I wanted to talk about, and I talked about in detail last time. My spotlight was Elden Ring, all hail the Elden Ring. But this time it's not about the game directly. It's about what the game has caused. Obviously, Elden Ring has been a massive success. One of the biggest selling games of the year, and obviously maybe even last year as well. And basically, it's ruffled a few feathers at Ubisoft, Sony, and a few other larger corporations that are all moaning like little babies. As to, why is our games not as good as Elden Ring? What has our games got that Elden Ring Elden Ring has? And it's like, well, for starters, it's not Elden Ring, and secondly, it's not full of microtransactions and live services, which nobody likes or wants in any shape or form anywhere near single-player video games. Now I'm looking at you, Ubisoft and Rockstar. Shame on you. Right, so they're all they've been moaning at Twitter. They're moaning on Twitter. Absolutely just going ham on Twitter. This was about a couple of days ago. But they're literally being yeah, but our game's better than yours, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's been very petty. So the fans have weighed in, and the fans have been like, "Shut up." Like, just shut up. Like, it's just shut your gob. So your games are rubbish. It's not the Elden Ring. Elden Ring has done so many things right that you failed miserably, Ubisoft, in your games, and Sony in some of your open world games. And I say Sony because I don't know why they're moaning, because From Software is under their umbrella. So I wouldn't I still don't understand why they've been moaning about FromSoft. But there's a few other big companies as well all saying the same sort of thing. So there's a few points I put to the side just to talk about as quick as possible, because there's quite a few. You know what I'm like, I talk forever. It's basically like they've changed or revolutionized how open world games are now interpreted by gamers, because Ubisoft and the rest of the idiots have all said, "Oh, we want to make games." It's like Argos. They do how they choose to do their shopping. It's like, here's a catalogue. Is always a little number pad. Put your order in and go and pick it up at the counter. There's no browsing the shelves or talking to staff. Only to moan at them if something's not in stock. Right. So that's how we do things. That's basically Ubisoft. Right. We like to do this way. From Software and Elden Ring have come along, gone sod that, just burnt the place down and rebuilt it from scratch and built a massive, open, wonderful experience with lots and lots of things to do, nice staff, and a very smelling of rainbows, so to speak. A very refreshing experience, right? So I'm trying to put descriptive words for the listeners. So open world game design has been. Anyone who's an old school gamer like myself and Steve will know that old school games never used to hold your hand. They never used to tell you what to do, where to go, how to do it. There wasn't online guides. There wasn't anywhere to get help other than the gaming magazines. Used to have the demo discs on the front. We used to have cheat codes or hints and tips at the back of it, and you'd open it up and read the back of it, and be disheartened because it was never about any of the games you owned. So it was
the glory days.
Exactly. So this is what Elden Ring has basically gone back to. Here you are. Here's the game. Make a character. There you go. Get on. Away you go. Explore the world. What we've made. Explore it. Experience it. Do what you want. As as simple as that sounds, apparently that's revolutionary in today's age. In fact, Ubisoft and other companies can't get their heads around it. So it's like, what do you mean you can't get it? Because you can't dictate the flow of experience, and you can't slow time gate certain areas, and you can't add this, that, the other. It's a game that they've made to be experienced as what most open world games should be like. You should just be get that off into the world. You're given a loose guide, like you're given these waypoints that they follow, right? So it's a loosey goosey guide that you can follow. And like you say, in most modern games, it's waypoint A to B to C to D, and you'll get a list a mile long of sub quests. And that was it. It was the Horizon Zero Dawn devs that were moaning about Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Saying that their quest design is ridiculous. Why are you not telling the players where to go? This is not how game design is supposed to be. And From Software are like, well, it's not your game. It's our game. We design it how we want. This is what we want our players to experience. That's what we want your players to experience. It's, with different horses, with different courses. Why are you complaining? The main reason is money. Because Horizon Zero West, the Forbidden West came out, didn't sell anywhere nearly expected amount of copies. And Elden Ring just comes along and just smashes all the sales records. It's one of the highest selling games of the year, and pretty much nearly beats the top selling games. I haven't got the stats with me. It's the most Elden Ring is the highest reviewed game one of the highest reviewed games of all time, universally acclaimed across the board, across literally every single review board website there is, magazine, and all the rest of it. It's only the 31st title on Metacritic to ever achieve such acclaim. So you think of all the thousands of titles, movies, books, and all the rest of it has been reviewed, and that's 31st. So achievement to be in the top 40, if you ask me, for a brand new game. So basically, they're just crying about it, right? So the game going back to the open world aspect. They doesn't hold your hand. You've got to go and explore and make your own game, and you'll stumble across quest zones you're not supposed to be in, etc., etc. So that's the game. You know, that's the experience. They're all just being idiots about it. So, do you think, Steve, that Ubisoft are right to complain about their game design being the best, or do you think From Software's approach is a refreshing take on it?
I mean, if re the ones who they're the ones who developed it, right? So they're the ones who made it. I think they've got the right to sort of stand up for their own game, you know. So yeah, I think FromSoft is obviously. I think, like you said, they're the ones who said this is our game anyway, right? So yeah, I don't, I don't see why there should be a problem. Why there should this? I mean, obviously, people are going to come in with their own opinions and stuff, and say this, say that. But personally, I don't think if I make something, and then you tell me that I'm something different, I'll be like, well, no, that's not how I intended. So yeah,
Exactly.
I would go. I would go with FromSoft on this one. I
Yeah.
have to.
So yeah, so that's basically what the big hoo-ha was about that.
Yeah.
And then obviously people got weighed in, and a lot of memes were made about it. So because Ubisoft released their Valhalla expansion pack this week as well.
Right.
The massive expansion story pack, which adds like more stories and more content, more cut and paste stuff with new skins and new items to claim in the game, and they nerfed items from the previous expansion and made this one the current meta, so people have to buy it if they want to be like ultra strong. So they're already paywalling. See the problem already? They're already paywalling their content.
So that yeah.
So people, and these are expansions. They're not making full games. So like, well, we're doing this our way. This is how you're supposed to do gaming, and it just pissed off From Software because they were like, no, and then they're like, oh, why is no one buying our DLC? Well, look at your game. It's literally a microtransaction nightmare. You literally sell skins for weapons and items. Digital goods don't mean anything, and you're charging £25 per expansion, and it's not even the game is how old now? When did Valhalla come out? 2018, 2019?
28. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
so it's the game's an old engine. I bought it on the PS5 and I traded it in because I was after about 8 hours, it didn't get any different. It's not like Odyssey where it was fun and it was a bit it was still copy and pasted, but at least it was a bit more enjoyable. Valhalla is literally just Assassin's Odyssey, but
yeah.
with the skin of Thor, like Norse mythology, and plus the main character annoyed the heck out of me. So it was a different game. I've lost my trail of thought now, but basically they also come out and just had a massive go. I'm going over old ground now. They all threw the dummies out of the pram, and more From Software will just basically, like you say, get on your bike. It's our game. So moving on from that, I'm sure there'll be more to it than that, but we'll come back to that if anything else develops from that. But I'm pretty sure From Software, I've had enough of other companies moaning at them because they made a better game better than them and they made more money than they have, which is pretty much the crux of the issue. You've made more money than us. Boo! Right, so moving on. Elite Dangerous. So if you remember, this game came out 2014. It's been supported ever since then. It's been on consoles and PC. But the latest update from the development team is that they are halted production on the consoles to focus on PC, alienating 8,000 console players and abandoning their game to focus on the 3,000 PC players still playing the game. Recently, obviously, Elite Dangerous had an expansion pack came out a little while ago that added like first person, exploration to the ridiculously overcomplicated space travel. I actually can't stand that game. I don't see it. I played it and I was so confused within the first 2 hours. I didn't even know how to operate my ship. There was a million buttons for everything.
All right.
And I was just like, well, is this a space simulator or is this a game?
Yeah.
It's just like, hold this button, this button, do this, engage this, disengage this, that, the other. And but after like 20 hours of text, I was just like, what? Is there an autopilot? No, there isn't. So it's very tedious, but fair play if you like the game. But the fact that the company is just said bye, console players, bye. Nice knowing you, bye. We don't care anymore. Big up yours. Get on your bikes. Thank you for the console money, but now we're going to focus on PC because we messed up our game code and we didn't keep it the same for everything. They actually split a game code, so they got a game code for console and a game code for PC when it's the same game made in the same engine. You think Windows, yeah? Windows is the same as Xbox. How can it be different? How can it be that much different? It can't be that much different, surely. As a dabbled in coding myself, I know full well that ain't that different. Yeah. So it's just laziness, lazy developers, and obviously the community has reacted. The PC they basically half the PC players have dropped the game in protest, so it's now down to 1,500 PC players, and the console players, over 4,000 of them stopped playing immediately after the announcement. So they just basically, not only did they already half their player base, they halved it again from their stupid actions. So I'm guessing that the development will probably be halting very shortly, and they'll be moving on to a different project. But as far as the Frontier developments, they're called, I will not be supporting any of your projects. I don't appreciate companies that abandon projects on consoles because you want to be a PC fanboy.
Yeah.
So no, you're blacklisted for me. I will never ever support you. I think you're an absolute disgrace to gaming, and you should retire immediately and go and make Pong or something. Just leave gaming to the real people and the people that actually care about their fans and community and the money that they've spent and time they've invested. All these people that have spent thousands of hours in the worlds and stuff. There's no doubt if you can get into it, it is a great experience. But it's a niche market. That sort of space exploration. There's an easy mode which I still couldn't do, and then there's a normal mode which is like what? It's like, I need alcohol to understand one line of this. So it's that's pretty much like the cherry picks out of the news. Apart from that, there really isn't much else to really talk about. That was sort of gaming extension. We did cover. We already talked about a few releases earlier in the state of play. The only we'll skip over the news for that bit. I think that's because we're nearly 2 hours in nearly already.
Yeah.
So the other things I'd mention that is one of the cherry pick of the game releases this month is Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Yes.
On Nintendo
Switch, yeah.
And that looks incredible. That looks really fun little game. And you've got Teeny Tina's Wonderlands, which is the Borderlands RPG hybrid first-person shooter. So there's some innovation there, where you've got a board game which you run around of and then get teleported into levels and fight and get loot, and then that's a bit different. So maybe that might be a little bit different if it works, because every Borderland game I've owned has crashed and never worked past day one. Right. So I still can't play number 3 or 2 or 1.
Oh, any of them. Yeah, no, we picked on. I think we picked these two. We highlighted these two as two picks that we kind of was looking at, keeping our eyes on when we mentioned the last time on the podcast. Me and Beth looked at it. And I think these, so we did sort of like briefly touch on those, but again, like someone coming in who's actually played, I think Beth had said about it as well, so she was mentioning that Tiny Tina, Tiny Tina, Tiny Tim. Wait, what? Not
Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim.
Tim. I do give a damn.
I do give a damn. What day is it, Ty? What day is it, young man? It's Christmas Day, sir. Oh, sorry, wrong story completely. Yeah. No, the only so we mentioned that briefly. I don't know if we got time for this.
There's game I want to mention. Starship Troopers Terran Command.
Oh yeah,
we haven't had many RTS games release on the PC these days. Not that looked promising. If you remember Starship Troopers,
I do,
um,
yeah.
so it's kill the bugs, kill them all, sir. So we got going to be mowing down waves and waves of bugs. It looks pretty decent. It's coming out on 31st of March. I'm going to wait for some reviews before I, because I'm an RTS buff, so I like these sort of games. So if there's any, it's like it's from what I can see, it's like they are billions, which is tower defense mixed with RTS
Yes,
base
yes,
building,
right, yeah.
base management. And I know there's a story mode, so it might be good, it might be terrible. We don't know. It looks okay. I'm hoping it's good because I haven't played a decent RTS for a while. The last decent RTS I played was Dawn of War, the original, the first lot of Dawn of War games, which was amazing. And then I haven't really played anything since that's been worthy of time investment. Looking at you, Warcraft Reforged, you disappointment. And but yeah, that's the only other game I wanted to mention. This one to look out for if you're a PC RTS buff like myself. You will enjoy, or hopefully will get to enjoy that at the end of the month. And obviously, if it's no good, we'll be hearing about it on the podcast in the future.
You're in the future when
Yeah,
we cover it.
we get
Yeah.
a hands-on experience. Only here on the Bits and Pieces podcast where you get honest, truthful opinions.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what
No,
you get.
no nonsense. No,
No,
no, straight bullshit rather than just around the bushes.
straight for that juggler. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, that's it.
No, I don't. I think there's anything else we want to discuss.
No,
Unless you want to mention Dr. Disrespect in his lawsuit. I mean, you didn't mention that, can we?
they set that out of court, didn't they?
Yeah.
He set it out of court. Yeah, yeah. Of
Let me
course,
roll with this one.
Of course you can. What you asked my permission for?
Well, I was waiting for. I was just waiting for that.
Can I do it, sir?
Can I just run with this one? Right. So yeah, Guy Beham, Beham, is that how you pronounce his name? Yeah, better known as popular live streamer Dr. Disrespect, was permanently suspended from Twitch for reasons unknown in June 2020. A year later, he launched a legal action over his ban, saying that the loss of his Twitch channel can not only impact but financially, but also did some serious I can't speak this week. Reputational damage. Yes, thank you. That's all water under the bridge now. And Dr. Disrespect and Twitch are friends again, apparently, according to this article on PC Gamer. I've resolved my legal dispute with Twitch, he said in a message posted on Twitter. No party admits to any wrongdoing. It's not the it's not exactly a warm embrace and stirring rendition of Auld Lang Syne, but it's probably as good as we're going to get. Again, according to PC Gamer, this is from Dr. Disrespect himself claimed not to know the reason for getting the boot until 7 months later, until in fact he implied last year that the reason for the suspension was part of why he was bringing in legal action against Twitch in the first place. Twitch confirmed the settlement in almost identical wording. Emails sent to PC Gamer, Dr. Disrespect and Twitch have resolved their legal dispute. No party admits to any wrongdoing. So they both said exactly the same thing.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, wasn't me. Wasn't me. Wasn't him. Wasn't you. Wasn't him.
Got banned for no reason, apparently.
Got banned for no reason.
They can say.
I mean,
it's very suspicious, isn't it?
It is very suspicious. Dr. Disrespect remains a major presence on YouTube, where he currently has just under 3.8 million subscribers. So he was already getting coming back from that. It was a good move for him, to be honest. I think it was getting out. I think Twitch lost a big thing now. But he was always going to be fine. He was off the air for maybe a few months and then like made that big announcement. His departure from Twitch also led on to other people leaving, like Tim Tatman then joined him because they couldn't play together. It was like,
Yeah.
well, but then, you know, as I said, I mentioned it with Beth last time. They get big sponsorships in anyway. With obviously the Call of Duty franchise is a big thing for both their games. You know, the 2 times blockbuster champion, as he calls himself. I don't think his core audience don't even know what blockbuster is, do they? I
They
can't
won't be
imagine
old
that
enough. They won't be old enough.
they
No.
won't be old enough to know what blockbuster
Angsty
is.
teens.
But that, you know, he's still now. He's a big. Obviously, he's got a big production. He has a manager. He's got who looks after all of his stuff. He's got obviously legal advisors who go out. You know what?
He's loaded. He's loaded.
He's
He's got
loaded.
the
Yeah.
whole,
So he was
he's got a
never.
whole shebang.
It was never going to do him any harm. And actually
No.
changing platforms. And I said to this to Beth as well. It enables YouTube, like once his content is done, he doesn't even have to upload it. It's there for. I know Twitch has VODs, but with YouTube, it's a long-term thing, isn't it? It's more sort of forever, if you like.
Yeah.
As long as there's storage on their
Once
cloud.
it's on the internet, it stays on the internet.
Yeah. with Twitch, it's lesser. Like if you're starting on Twitch, you get 2 weeks for VODs, and then it's a little bit longer if you become affiliated, and a little bit even more so if you become partnered. But other than that,
It's 30 days for partners unless you request it to be on there permanently.
Yeah, so you actually get longer for partners. But with YouTube, like his content will always be there. So, you know, that is the difference, solely the difference. But yeah, so it looks like he's finally settled that. Well, whatever the reasons, it would never be mentioned, I don't think. But yeah, I thought it was a big loss. There was a few streamers who sort of moved away, came back. I think yeah, what's he gonna do? He's not really. He said it's water under the bridge now, but like
Is it though?
Is it? I mean, it's easier to say that.
It's very
easier to say that and move on. But like privately,
why can't he disclose what happened? Why can't he disclose if it's nothing dodgy? Why can't he disclose what went on? I mean, all the alarm bells are going off in my head. Like that they paid to cover up whatever they found. Because I know he did something in his personal life that led to Twitch doing this from the gravy train. He denies all that stuff. He's like, no.
Personally, whatever he did personally, like he needs to keep that. Obviously, he wants to keep it separate.
That's understandable. It's his right to do so. But
keep it off Twitch. Like Twitch didn't want him publicizing anything. Like whether he had. I'm not going to say exactly because I don't want to be wrong in saying certain things, but obviously there was personal things that happened with him. He got targeted a few times, you know, with people.
He got a lot of hate raids.
A lot of hate raids coming towards his way. He actually got things thrown towards his house. People learned where he lived. I mean, like,
That's wrong.
I started watching his content during lockdown when we first started doing lockdown. I followed him only to follow him, but never, you know, he's one of the best streamers for rage quitting. Like he's one of the best of the worst. Do you know what I mean? Like I've seen a lot of his stuff. I don't necessarily follow him so much.
Knack though, isn't it? Really, he plays it up for the camera.
Of course it is. It's all. Of course
you can tell he does.
oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's like a persona.
It's a persona.
Yeah.
Once that wig goes on, sorry to spoil it for anyone. Once the wig goes on and the glasses gone, he stops becoming guy and becomes Dr. Disrespect. That's it.
Right, Matthew, I'm going to be Dr. Disrespect.
I mean, yeah, we all take on the persona anyway. I think any Twitch streamer out there, any starting person, like if you add a little bit of your personality is still there, but you come out of your own. You do create a little, I mean, I know I do. I wouldn't. If I walked past you in the street, I wouldn't
Um,
say. If I didn't know you, if I did, if I didn't know who you were, I wouldn't say hi or ask for directions.
I
I'd
think
just,
if someone,
do you know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
not like that in real life, but in front of a camera, as I
yeah,
point towards the camera and with a microphone.
you,
But yeah,
but
I think we do in our own right. But he's got big production. He does his own thing. That's his thing. He does whatever he needs to do to keep the checks rolling in, like he needs it. No, he's a bit of
I,
an entertainment. That's all. He's an entertainer, isn't he?
it's all it is. Yeah, it's all it is. I got my persona costume, Mr. Blobby, coming next week. Blub, 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 the whole stream was blub blub blub. But I think I'd have a heart attack if someone come up to me and goes, "Oh, watch you on Twitch." I'd be like,
Oh,
"What?"
I
I'd
would,
rather I'd freak out.
I would absolutely
Like,
shit. I would shit a brick. I would. I mean, like,
Can I
yeah.
have an autograph? What? No.
I would still sign it my own name. That was the thing.
Yeah, still put my actual name on it instead of my character in that game.
Because obviously, like we, the funny bits boys, the
Nah,
channel name, and that's who
funny
I'm
as
going to be.
anything.
Yeah, I mean, I know everyone still calls me funny. Hey, bits boy, or whatever. And then out of nowhere, people go, "Oh, that's Steve." You go, yeah, because that's obviously my name.
Yeah.
But
Don't wear it out.
don't worry out. But yeah, fine. I don't mind that so much. But yeah, walking down the road, if someone said that, "Oi, bits boy," I'd be like, I would. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably hope for the ground to swallow me up in some ways, just to get me out of that area quick. If I was going across the bridge, I'd probably jump off. I don't know. I would have a heart attack there and then. It'd be kind of weird. But yeah. And these things are not out of our reach. They can easily be attained down the line. I'm hoping. Please give me that spotlight. It must be horrible, that. But I want to try it. Give me that spotlight. Throw your bits, throw your subs. Follow me.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be nice to wake up and someone's donated 100 grand to your bank account because
Oh
they're
yeah.
rich?
Yeah. I'd love to be in that. I'd love to be in that Jacksepticeye sort of
Yeah.
yearly thing. Where,
Yeah. It gives people hardly any views or watchers, just money.
I
It's
don't
just
have
like,
any
what?
views, Mr. Septiceye.
Yeah. Come on, share the wealth.
Shut up. I don't go looking for it, but like if it came my way, of course I would accept it. But I'd be very I wouldn't know what to say, to be honest, when it comes to that side of things.
I don't think, without embarrassing myself, I wouldn't know what to say either.
Yeah,
without groveling. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. That'd be me, and I'd be crying, and I'd be a mess. And that'd be it.
You want to see a grown man cry?
Yeah, that'd be it.
Melting. Oh, as I sink into my own seat for comedy effect. Mind your neck.
Yeah.
For those who weren't familiar, already listening, yeah, Freddie has a bit of a neck brace on because of his damaged himself. Just so I can put that into context there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes, I'm being silly. That's the morphine has kicked some of the pain.
Having to take morphine for the pain.
Yeah. I had to take. I practically. I was getting too personal. I practically live on it to manage my pain.
Yeah.
So I've got this liquid stuff. It's a good stuff.
It's a good stuff. Yeah.
A good hit. No, it's honestly. Tomorrow I'll wake up like a dead sack of bricks. The after effects are horrible. It's like being drunk 20 times over. So it's hungover, not drunk, hungover, but the one when you have the stonking headache and you feel sick, and there's that, and there's no remedy that gets rid of it. It has to go away on its own. It's kind of annoying. But I'm all right. That's enough of that. Get that out of here. Come on, bye. What are you doing? It's a podcast, mate. I'm talking about rubbish, right? And I thought we've gone over the 2-hour mark. Woo,
yay!
Party time.
I know, right? Unfortunately, I think we've come to the end of that. Unfortunately, there is no Beth. There is no Beth this week, so there's no joke of the week.
No, Beth, I have a joke.
Do you have a joke?
If you have a joke, it's an old joke
Freddie's
that I learnt. I was told when I was very young,
well,
but
Freddie's joke of the
it
week.
might be funny. I don't know. Right. So there's this chap, this young chap. He's walking through a dusty village. He's starving. He spots an abandoned cafe, and he doesn't know if he's hallucinating, but he sees a plate with a bit of toast on it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm starving. I've got to eat something. I ain't eaten today." So he goes in the cafe. He looks around. There's no one in there, right? Nothing is, whistles of wind, dust balls going past the door. It's a very drab, it pretty much looks like something out of Fallout, um, sort of esque, sort of barren wasteland cafe. But there's this fresh piece of toast with this nice looking chocolate spread on there. And he's like, I'll have a bit of that. So he goes up to it, he goes to take a bite of it, and a ghost appears in front of him and just goes, "No, leave it alone." And he drops it and he runs off. Ghost disappears. Second ghost then appears, starts looking around the room. The dude gets his courage and runs to he's so hungry, he's like, I can't let it beat me. So he runs up to the toast, tries to grab it again. The second ghost turns around and grabs him and screams in his face, "No, leave it alone," and pushes him away. Both his face first into the floor, eats a bunch of dirt. Not very tasty, right? So he's like, right, that's it. I'm going to leg it, I'm going to grab the toast and run out the door. So he gets up, he legs it towards the table, he picks up the toast and starts eating it. The first ghost appears, stands in front of him and says, "Look, told you once, told you twice, I wipe my ass with that Marmite slice."
Oh dear. Oh no. Oh, and
There
on
you
that, I think on
go.
that bombshell, it's time to end. Yeah. So
That's your
sadly,
joke of the week.
the only time, the only, yeah, Beth, Beth, you're not fired. You still got a job. Joke of the week's still yours. Thank you very much, Freddie, for joining me today.
You're welcome.
And yeah, so we do want to do some socials before we finish. Let's do some socials so we can put out there who you are, where you're from, what you do, get up to, and all that kind of crazy stuff. Twitch.tv, are you doing any gaming next week?
Yeah, I'm currently playing through Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring, and I might be returning to Martha is Dead on Tuesday as well.
Oh, yes, excellent.
Yes, so I'm kicking that back up. The Martha is Dead and Elden Ring only at twitch.tv/Freedy Show. Come along and say hello. I would greatly appreciate it. And maybe your cheeky follow might help as well.
Brilliant. I will be back again. Hopefully, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. I'm going to try and do. I have a game for Sunday horror. I've been doing in the last few Sundays. I've been trying to pick up a game, and solo game, sort of like single player game, I should say. And then in the evening, I normally do some Phasmo or something along those lines. But tomorrow, I've got a game I want to try out. I want to put onto the stream. I might do a bit more. Project Zomboid. So I might do some more of that tomorrow as well. We'll see how it goes. But I do have a game. It's a kind of a Phasmo detective game I picked up quite cheap. I'll give that a go and see what people think of that if they're interested. Around about 3 o'clock, usually on a Sunday, 3 till 6, and then I'll take a break and then I come back in the evening and do some more gaming. Either on my own or with friends, people, anyone's invited. So yeah, that'd be me. We should be back again. Hopefully there'll be a trio of us. Hopefully Beth will join in. She couldn't make it today, unfortunately. But we should have a trio of us again next Saturday at 9 on the Bits and Pieces podcast. If you are interested, if you have access to any of the podcasts, you can find us somewhere, either on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible as well. And there's SoundCloud is out there. There is quite a few podcast apps out there. So if you're hearing us for on those, maybe in a different country, there's different podcasts sites out there. Usually found on iOS or Android. You can get the apps with podcasts on. Yeah, we're trying to get out there as much as we can. So we're trying to publicise this as much as we can. Please, if people can, leave a review, download it. Downloading it really helps the channel grow, really helps the podcast spread the word where you heard it as well.
Twitch.tv. Download
Twitch.tv.
it, reviews.
Twitch.tv/funnybitsboy. Leave a review. Find somewhere that we're on there and try and give us the 5 stars. If it says 10 stars, try and give us 10 stars. It's best way to listen to us is to obviously download it, and that way you can listen to it on the go.
And as many times as you want.
And as many times as you want. Once you have it, you own it.
Yeah. Once you
go
3D and funny, you don't go back.
You know you don't.
No.
That's
you run away.
But yeah, there we go. I think that's me done for today. I might end the stream here. If there's any gaming, I'll reset the stream. But otherwise, thank you very much for listening. Thank you for watching if you were watching. And we will see you again, as I said, next week on the Bits and Pieces podcast. Next week's episode 20. So it's gonna be a good one.
Yep.
Going to have a good one next week. Hopefully we're going to have, like I said, we'll have a trio. So yeah, join us again next week for 20th. We are looking for someone to join us. Please join us for the 21st episode.
Yes.
Would be a good episode.
Yeah.
We need someone to come in on that one. It'd be good.
Come in on the 20th. Yeah. That'd be great.
That'd be great.
Please let us know.
Let us know. Speak to me, Freddie, or even Beth. If we've all got Discords and stuff, you can message us on that. Please. We do. Yeah. I am begging for someone to come in and talk to us. Be that special guest on that special, the 20th or even the 21st episode, or both.
Yeah.
Right, that's me done. That's it. End of podcast.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Bye. Get out of here.